welcome to the Trello introduction video. So in this video we will give you a brief overview of Trello, what it is, how it works, and how to use it. So first thing you're going to want to do is, if you're in your worksheet, go ahead to the Trello in-depth link, and from here you will see the link attached. So you'll notice that this is just simply Trello.com. So Trello is both, it can be a website and an app. It's just an online platform, and I'll pull it up here. But this online platform, it's designed to be more of a checklist or project management tool to be able to create lists and create checklists and assign those and different things like that. So Trello is not specifically just used for training. However, it is what we have found is very effective for us to use. It's what a lot of other Chick-fil-A's use for training as well. And so with Trello, couple different terms that we'll use. One is called a board. So overall, if you look over here on the left, this is the board. And so this brings up all of the information that is within that board. So within a board, you have different lists. And so the list is this entire box that's right here. So you'll see this says sample list. Then we have trainer Quebec group. We have Abby. We have Adam. And so these are all individual lists. Within the list, we have these little blocks that are called cards. And so in these cards, we can create specific checklists or action items. And so you can see here, if you look at this, this will show checklist items. There are 0 out of 178. That's because this is the sample list. But if we come over to here with Abby, it appears as if Abby did not have everything quite marked off as it should have. So here, we can come over here and see Adrian, 125 out of 126. So you can see how much somebody has been trained on and those different steps. So ultimately, with the cards and lists are kind of the two terms that get confused the most. So when we look at the list, how it works is that in front of house, lunch, dinner, there is the sample list that is over here. This list, this sample list, should never be changed or edited by any trainer. This would be something that it's really important to make sure. This is the template that we use, so it's important that this stays up to date, stuff doesn't get crossed off. Otherwise, when we go to make a copy of that, that will bring it into the new copy and can just create additional confusion. So how this works, everybody in Chick-fil-A has their own card, and so I could scroll all the way through, and not even all the way through, but we have Aminata here. I could scroll through and find Greg and Kelly, and then I'm all the way down at the end. But ultimately, everyone in Chick-fil-A has a list, has their own list, and this helps keep track of who has been trained in what and how well trained they are. So first, what you're going to want to do is, and so we're going to have you practice making your own list that you're going to use for keeping track of where you're at and reading through things. So I made this list earlier, and basically this is just a duplicate of this, and then I renamed it. So I'm actually going to archive this list as of right now, and archive it will delete it, so just be careful with that. Just recognize that archive is deleting, so you shouldn't be archiving any lists. But what I'm going to ask each of you to do is to go to the sample list, go to these little menu, more options button, and go ahead and click on that, and you'll see a couple different actions you can do. You can do add card, copy list, move list, watch, so you'll get any notifications that are on it. But you are going to specifically do copy list. So anytime somebody is being trained, the first time that we train them on introduction, we would copy this list and we would enter their name. So what I'm going to have each of you do is to put trainer first and then put your first name and last name. So I'm just going to create trainer Quebec group. If I was doing this exercise, then I would put trainer Will Walsh. But once that is done, then you can hit enter. And there it goes. Sometimes it takes a little while to load, but eventually everything else copied over. So now I have my own list complete with all of the individual cards. So once you rename this, ultimately all of these are in alphabetical order. So you could just click and drag and bring it all the way down to where it goes in alphabetical order. I'm just going to leave this one here just for easy viewing purposes. So if you were training somebody brand new, you would enter their name, first name, last name in here, and then you would just go and move them in alphabetical order to where they go. But for what we're doing, each of you will create your own trainer card. And for this first week, with just getting familiar with using Trello, all you're going to do is you're going to open up this introduction card. So just go ahead and click on this. And then in here, you'll see all of the information. Up in the top, you'll have the description. So there will be notes for the trainers. So here, the notes would be this card should take approximately X hours to train. Please remember to fill out the proper evaluations at the bottom of the card. We used to have an amount here, but as things were changing with COVID, that was also changing. And so we want to get back to having that idea of this should take X amount of hours, so that you know how long it should take, so you can kind of have an idea of where you should be at, what pace you should be moving through. But with introduction, you're just going to read through all the information, and you're going to go through it and familiarize yourself with it. So the goal is that you would just be reading through these things, that you would be taking notes on things, anything that you have questions about. Please write down, take notes on, and then we can you can either reach out in crew and ask about it, or even just save it until we discuss, or put it to your worksheet actually, because there's a specific spot in there on the worksheet for questions, and then we can discuss it in person, or I can even view the worksheet and or whoever the leader, the group leader is, would be able to view the worksheet and answer those questions. So please, though, take notes. Anything that stands out or questions that you have, please be sure to write those down. But what you're going to do, since this would be your own card, again, this is the Trainer Quebec group, but whoever's doing this will be your own card in the trainer group. So as you go through and you read through these different things, you'll just hit the check box. And so as you read through it, you'll be able to see where you've left off at. So this way, in the course of the week, you would be able to just leave off, and then you could exit out of this and come back to it, and you won't have to worry about your progress being lost. And you'll also be able to see, just kind of from a time planning perspective, about how long it'll take to get through that card. So for this first week, we're going to have everyone read through introduction, and you're going to take those notes and be prepared to come to your next meeting with those questions. And I guess bonus points would be if you can figure out the answers to them either on your own or through asking other people before we even get to the group, but you don't have to do that. So that is the introduction to Trello. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out, and we'll do the best that we can to answer those.